I've got two very special new pieces of AV gear here with obvious uses, and of course we are gonna do normal reviews of them, but I've got plans for each of these that I'm not gonna tell you about. Welcome back to CalebRated, everyone. I'm Caleb Dennison, and normally we don't do unboxings around here because we don't have time. We're too busy reviewing stuff. But there's something special with each of these pieces, or what we're going to be doing with them, besides the normal reviews, that I can't really tell you about, but I want to tease it because we do have something very cool coming up. I'm going to give you a few hints during this video. Maybe you'll kind of figure it out, but we're very excited to well, let's just say we're very excited to introduce something new to you. And this is gonna be a big factor in the introduction. We're gonna use them for a lot of B-roll. All right, if that makes any sense. I missed the tape over here on the Magnetar. We know the Magnetar is double boxed. We can expect the Denon to be double boxed. So why don't we just cut to the other box? Damn. Well, that box isn't going back. Okay, I lied. There's some stuff up top. We've got the power cable. I think we know what that looks like. We can toss that aside right now. Then we've got a box of goodies here from Denon. Let's see what's inside. Okay, so we've got some batteries clinging on for dear life over here. We've got a remote, two antennae. Antennae, that's plural for antenna, right? But then we've got our calibration microphone. Actually, that reminds me of something extra special about this receiver that I'll tell you about in just a moment. But let's set that aside and get into this Denon receiver that I'm very excited about. This is not the most powerful Denon receiver that you can get, actually, but it does have one particularly special feature that I promised I would tell you about. I might as well start getting into that as we open this thing up. There's the beautiful backside of the Denon receiver with lots and lots of HDMI inputs that may or may not get utilized in a very special way later. Plenty of connectability. We'll talk about how many channels this thing supports in a little while, but I want to flip it around really quick. This receiver supports not only Audyssey, which we've seen in Denon and Marantz receivers for years and years now, but it also supports Dirac ART Mode. Now, if you're not familiar with Dirac, it's another kind of room correction software. Actually, that is the first and free version that you can get is the room correction software. So it does a lot like Audyssey does, where it reads the speakers, it figures out the distances automatically, it corrects for your room acoustics so that you get better overall sound. The second stage of Dirac you have to pay for. I think that's Dirac Live. I can't remember the name of it, but you pay for this. That integrates your subwoofer so you get more subwoofer control. You can tighten up the bass, compensate for room nodes, and just have it better integrate with your speakers in general. But Dirac ART is brand new, and it's supposed to take things to an absolutely next level experience where it can take not only, well, think of it as being kind of like Sony's 360-degree spatial audio feature, only a little bit more, as Dirac says, where let's say you have speakers of different brands and they're voiced differently and they don't necessarily always play together nicely. Dirac ART is supposed to compensate for that and give you the very best surround sound experience available. Now, it's been a while since I reviewed any AV receivers, so I don't have anything to review it against except for some old school Audyssey available in an Integra receiver that I got some time ago. So I'm going to have to ping somebody at Sony to get a receiver that has that 360 spatial audio built into it. You listening to me right now, Sony? So that I can actually pit this up against something that is worthy of competing against Dirac ART. Anyway, that's the Denon receiver. Very excited about reviewing this one. But have I even mentioned the model number on this thing? It's the AVRX3900H. It's one of their newest two receivers that was just announced a couple of weeks ago, and I can't wait to listen to it on this all SBS system that we've got put together. All right, very excited about that. Let's get rid of this box over here. Let's move the Denon down here. Oh man, that's got a power supply on it. That's a good sign, should sound really good. We still have a double box situation here, so let's just fix that. Let's get into this. Now, the Magnetar UDP900 Mark II is the top of the line from Magnetar. You can get the UDP800, and you lose a few fancy features, but the core awesomeness of the Magnetar stays the same. What's different between the Mark I, well, it never was called the Mark I, but the original UDP900 and the 900 Mark II? Mostly refinements, to be honest with you. I mean, they phased out the original, so if you want to get one, you're going to be getting the Mark II, I think. Pretty stout power cable for a Blu-ray disc player, and that is because it is a stout player. We've got the remote that we'll take a closer look at some point. Ooh, premium phone that doesn't break into a million billion pieces and cause me to have to vacuum 8 times. I really do get tired of that around here. We got a pretty stout manual. Why buy such a premium disc player? We already covered this in the original review, but it's because you have an extensive disc collection, and I'm not talking about just DVDs, Blu-rays, and 4K Blu-rays. I'm talking about oh my word, that is heavy. Holy crap. I'm talking about SACDs and DVD audio discs, and you want them to sound their absolute best. This kind of player is the way to go. I mean, because instead of just passing the audio via HDMI to your AV receiver or preamp processor, it'll actually put out analog audio. It's got a premium analog audio stage with not just RCA pre-outs, but also XLR balanced audio outputs, which I should be showing you right now. Let's get it out of this velvet sack. All right, that really is a nice presentation, and for as much money as you pay on this, I gotta say, I deserve something like this, or you deserve something like this. I don't know how to tell you, other than with a not fake straining noise, that thing is as heavy, if not more heavy than the Denon receiver. Well, the power supply is here, and so all the weight is in one place with the Denon receiver. But it's got a pretty front face. We'll go ahead and do a peel here for you very slowly. Zeke is mad because he didn't get to zoom in on that, and I'm sorry, Zeke, but that's not how it's working today. Let me turn this around for you, show you, oh my word, how many different ways can I say it's heavy? So here's what I was talking about. You've got dedicated 2-channel audio outputs over here, and then just outside of that, you've got the 2 dedicated XLR balanced audio outputs. When I am judging a high fidelity audio system and using 2-channel CD sources, or even 2-channel SACD sources, this is what I use. I like to use the balanced audio outputs with our Anthem amplifier. That's also possible with some new gear that we've gotten in, like that beautiful Onkyo system that we got in. And then we do have also the RCA pre-outs, gold-plated RCA terminals, because you need gold on an expensive piece of equipment like this. Anyway, I spent all this time talking about the analog audio stage without talking about the HDMI outputs. There are actually 2 HDMI outputs on this guy. One is going to be your standard HDMI output with video and audio. The second is going to be an audio-only HDMI output. Kind of depends on how you want to run your system. I really want to turn this around, but it's really heavy and my back hurts, so I'm just going to leave it like this. Most of the refinements, as I said before, are very small video refinements. The HDMI output has lower jitter. The audio circuitry is supposed to be improved just slightly. The transport is mostly the same, but again, it's a little bit more stable. They just made little tweaks to try and make the best player they possibly could, because Magnetar is pretty much the only one in the game doing this kind of a thing anymore. Panasonic is doing it. We're not really sure what kind of Panasonic gear we're going to be getting here in the US. The TVs, maybe at some point. Hopefully the disc players still come here. The Oppo players are a thing of the past. I have 3 of them that I will not let go of because they are special, even though they're selling for a lot on eBay, and I'm tempted to do so all the time. At any rate, Magnetar is the premium disc player in the game. It plays everything. I think it'll even play a Kodak picture CD. And no, I'm not joking. But again, back to these HDMI outputs. That's a USB, by the way, next to it, not an HDMI. Those are very, very special to us because, again, we're going to be doing some special stuff around HDMI. Can't tell you yet, but I think you should be excited. I promise I will not make you wait too much longer on that. If you're good, look, I've left several Easter eggs in several videos at this point, and y'all have not picked up on any of them yet. I was trying to soft launch something, and y'all are just not picking up what I'm putting down. That's okay, because when this magical thing does launch, I think you're gonna be pretty excited about it. At any rate, 2 pieces of premium AV gear that I cannot wait to put to work. We're still doing primarily TV reviews right now because there are so many TVs to review, but understand these 2 pieces are gonna make their way into the system along with the TV, so we're gonna be doing a constant evaluation. By the time we do get to the reviews of each of these, they are going to be extremely comprehensive. We're gonna know everything there is to know about them, and I just really couldn't be more excited. I mean, you've been seeing the SVS Evolution Pinnacle towers here for what? A year? Dude, did we miss our anniversary? I think we missed our own 1-year anniversary. Yay us. We also have the SVS bookshelf speakers here, as well as the SVS Nano, which are on either side of me right now. And we also, if you watched the channel, you saw the short, I unboxed the SVS SB-5000R Evolution subwoofer, which is a 15-inch sealed subwoofer, and I'm actually a little bit worried about how my neighbors are gonna feel about that, because while we are isolated, as you know, by a lot of concrete and double wall insulated sheetrock, something tells me that thing is gonna bleed through. Guys, I had a super fun time doing this, and sometimes I just need to have fun. I hope you had fun along with me. The TV reviews continue. The next thing you see will be another TV review, I guarantee you. Thanks for being here with me. I love your faces. Have a great one. I'll see you on the next one, and until then, take care of yourselves. But it's the not so obvious uses that I'm excited to not tell you about.